take a trip in my airship. Come take a sail among the stars. Come have a ride around Venus. Come have a spin around Mars. No one to work while we're busy. No one to see while we school. Come take a trip in my airship and we'll visit the man in the moon. Will the audience please join me in whistling the chorus?
Hello, Airship 27's 104th podcast. I'm Chief and co-host of the podcast, on Fortier.
Howdy, loyal airmen, and here we go. 104th. Man, that is absolutely mind-boggling when you think about it. All right? I mean, we've been at this a long time.
A while, a day or two. Or a minute, as kids say.
Anyway, we actually have quite a number of books to announce, to tell our loyal airmen all about. Read the sheet, Rob. Read the sheet. Anyways, and as ever, it's time for the first bad joke of the episode.
Okay.
I need my stamina.
I don't repeat. I get last time. Oh, man. Well, go ahead.
Here it comes.
All right.
In surgery, after a heart attack, Gladys, a middle-aged woman, laying in bed, she looks up and she sees the angel of death at her bedside, the whole hood and the scepter and everything. And she goes, "Oh, no. I don't want to die. I've got so much more to live." He looks at her for a minute, and all of a sudden he pauses. He looks up, stops, he goes, "You know what, Gladys? The big man heard your prayer. He's giving you 30 more years." And he disappears. Gladys is overjoyed. And she thinks, well, if I've got 30 more years, I really should make the best of them. Here I am in the hospital. So she goes out and gets breast implants, liposuction, a tummy tuck, hair transplants, collagen injections in her lips. By the time she's done, she looks fantastic. And so comes the day of her discharge. She goes waltzing out of the hospital, walks across the street and gets hit by an ambulance and killed.
Yep. Okay.
Wakes up in heaven. There's Peter. She goes, "St. Peter, what am I doing?" He says, "Sorry, Gladys, you're dead." "Dead?" She goes, "Where's that angel of death?" He says, "Over there in the corner." She goes running over to him, right? And he's shying away a little bit. "Oh, hi, Gladys." Don't hi, Gladys, me. You told me I had 30 more years. I did. So what the heck happened? My bad. I didn't recognize you.
After recognize her. Oh, that's bad. That's bad stinko joke. But oh man.
All right. Hey, look, like I had said earlier, we put out quite a few books since the start of the year. Again, this is our cleanup year, and we are putting out some really, really good titles, which I'm really happy about. Some are relatively new. Some have been sitting there collecting dust, and that's what this year is all about.
Yep.
So we'll go through these back and forth. I will start it off with, first one was Under a Crooked Star, a sci-fi crime caper by British writer Daniel Wishton, with all the art, interiors, and illos, and an old-fashioned cover by artist Dave Thompson. And that comes to us from across the pond. the idea is, and I don't know if I made you aware of this or not, but this initially was a graphic novel.
Yes, I did see that somewhere, either in the description or somewhere.
Right, it was published in England by these two guys, and then later Daniel had this idea of novelizing it, wanted it to be a book, sent it to us. I read it. I thought, hey, this is great. We'll gladly publish this. It reminds me again, like, of the old science fiction paperbacks of the 70s that Daw Books used to publish, those kind of things.
Right.
So here we are putting it together, and I'm looking for an artist. And then I remembered that bit about the graphic novel. Now, what the heck? This guy did a graphic novel. I mean, he knows the characters and situations. So I asked Daniel to put me in touch with David Thompson, the original artist, and put it to him and said, hey, would you like to do the illustrations? He not only came back and said, sure, this sounds like fun, different twists on all this, and did the cover for us. And the cover came out looking great. The book looks fantastic. There is a sequel book, and I just heard from Dave a few days ago, and he's getting ready to start doing the illustrations on that one as well.
Cool.
So that was the first since our last show. And then followed by
California Wolves. Now, when I misunderstood what this was at first. I forget what is. You'd sent me the background, but anyway, I'll describe what it is first. What it is, rather than what I thought it was. It's a Bigfoot PI novel. Let me say that again. A Bigfoot PI novel, and I'm not talking about the cartoon Bigfoot. I'm talking about Bigfoot from the woods. Bigfoot. It's by Michael Panush with all art illustrations, and a wild cover by the awesome James Lyle, who's done a lot of work for us. But I misunderstood what it was at first because of the blurb that you sent me to put on the back cover, and so I was completely blown away when I go, wait a minute, California Wolves. Why is it called that when it's about Bigfoot? But yeah, it's worth all you readers out there to check it out, because what I didn't read the whole book, but as building it, I'm seeing snippets, and as I'm correcting things as I'm going through, and I got caught up in it several times because it's well written, and Michael Panush has written for us before. So I get pulled into it, and I'd go, wait a minute, I don't have time for this. I got to fix this book. I got to assemble it. So, but it's a really engaging book about a really wild concept where Bigfoot is a private investigator. Now, you probably have more information about that.
Yeah,
you share as well.
It's typical of Michael's work. Michael is by far the most original new pulp writer I have ever come across. All right. Every time he sends us a new concept or series, it's so out there. It's like you scratch, you're like, you gotta be kidding.
Where did this come from? Did he have a fever dream or something?
He makes it work. Okay. So, right. Hey, I've got this idea for a novel, and I've got Bigfoot as a private eye. Okay. Whatever. Let's go.
If anybody can pull it off, he can.
Well, yeah. And you start reading it, and then you get the subtitle. The subtitle is California Wolves. Well, the basic concept of the plot, folks, I'm not giving any spoilers away, all right? What he uses is something that's been happening, I would say, a lot in the last 10, 15, 20 years in this country, whereby a lot of wolves have been reintroduced to a lot of national parks, all right? Because a lot of them have disappeared, all right? Through hunting, poaching, whatever, all right? We've done that in Colorado now for the last couple of years, all right?
Yeah, there's been I've seen some of the stuff in the news about the Colorado, and there's a controversy about it. So
there is.
The ranchers are not happy about it.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And he plays off of that in this plot, all right? Whereby it's in California, in this particular book, they're trying to reintroduce wolves to a certain county, and there's all kinds of issues with, again, ranchers and whatever, sheep herders, blah, 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 not wanting these predators in their backyard. Eventually, there's some kind of theft or murder, whatever, and the Bigfoot PI gets called in on the case. Okay. which by the end he resolves. Honestly, this is the first of 3 that I have. So we've got another 2 to work our way through eventually, but we've got a lot of other titles before we get to it. And honestly, I broached this to James Lyle, the artist, and I figured, let's see if I can tickle his curiosity. Well, all I had to do was say Bigfoot Private Eye. And that was it. James goes, I'm doing the yellows. I want the cover. He even did the back cover for us. All right.
Yeah, he did. He even did the logo because it's incorporated into the cover. Yeah. And you mentioned him. Well, that's kind of Rob's bailiwick. Don't you think we should let him do that? And I took a look at it and I went, no, I can't do any better than this. He's nailed it. So I went ahead with it. So, but yeah, it's well worth the read because it's such an interesting concept just to start with. And then you've got Michael Panush writing it, and it's very engaging. And like I said, it dragged me in several times while I was just going through assembling the book.
Before we finish this particular show, Michael's name's going to come up again. Don't be surprised.
Yes, because I'm sure he had a lot of submissions to you, and they just seem to line up here, several of them in a row like this. Yeah. So anyway, but the next one, I'll let you, since I took that one, we'll hand it off to you.
All right. So happily, I was really anxious to get this one out. The Adventures of Radio Rita, Volume 2, which featured writers Curtis Fernlund, Glenn Held, Gene Moyers, and Samantha Leanhard. Rob does all the interior illustrations, and we got a really great cover from Michael Youngblood. And of course, Radio Rita is the character that Rob and I put together over on Facebook. All the time we were announcing these podcasts. She was the one working in the hangar, notifying people that Rob, got to do a podcast, whatever, to the fact that one night, it was during a podcast, we started talking about doing an anthology where I would write her basic statistics, height, color, hair, blah, 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 and nothing else, not even her name. And each writer could do whatever they wanted with it. So you would get multiple visions, versions, interpretations of who Radio Rita was. The first volume was fantastic. We got some great stories. This one equally as good.
Yes.
The guys step up to the plate. Yeah. So again, hey, I'm trying to remember what our inventory is, but I think we've got a 3rd volume complete. Ultimately,
I think you're right. Yeah,
so it's going to be ultimately a time where after we've cleaned out those books that we've got ready to go, something I can work on, and again, start looking for an art team. So after Radio Rita, what came?
Well, let's see. Tomahawks and Sorcery by Teal James Glenn. It's a collection of frontier stories mixed with Indian magic, and that's American Indian magic. Mike Lapertuda does the interior illustrations, and Adam Shaw did the dramatic cover. You're going to have to go into detail on this one because what I saw this one is just fascinating. Again, it's another one of those interesting concepts that somebody comes up with. More or less, what if Davy Crockett or Daniel Boone was involved in Indian magic?
It's more like James Fenimore Cooper's Brothers Walking Tales. Okay, and that's where it takes place, somewhere in the middle of the French-Indian Wars, and his protagonist is an American Yankee scout, whom all the local villagers know, the people in upper state New York, in the woods and whatever. And basically, it was an idea that Teal wrote several different short stories featuring this particular character who, for one reason or another, and again, it's playing off the whole weird stuff for, pulp fiction, he crosses, various evil Native American shaman who use their magic to try to, throw off American settlers or in favor of their British allies or whatever. So every story in the collection is very well written. It's very authentic to the period and the time.
Yeah.
His characters, supporting characters, he does a great job. He's an award-winning writer. He does a super job. Whatever he does,
he's a great writer as well. Yeah.
Right. So this is a brand new, twist for him, but it works. It really works. So Tomahawks and Sorcery, if you like, stories from the American history and whatever,
pre-Revolutionary War history.
Yeah.
Yep. It's from that period, which is that's why I said Davy Crockett or Daniel Boone, because it's from that same era. But great book. So the next one.
Yours.
Okay. Tenderfoot. It's an American mammoth novel. And by that name we mentioned earlier, Michael Panush, he's popped up again. An alternate world adventure. Ron Hill provides the interior illustrations, and yours truly does the cover. In fact, I've still got the pencil somewhere on my drawing board for that. Where does he get this stuff? I mean, what a concept this is as well. It's an alternate history where the American mammoth is still alive during the cowboy era.
Yeah,
in 1870s through 1890s, somewhere in there.
It's post-Civil War.
Yeah.
So you come to find out in reading it that your hero's Union veteran of the Union Army. It's like maybe a year, 2 years after the war, and he has
late 1860s.
And he has his own mammoth, right? And he gets involved with outlaws and smugglers and whatever on the cusp of the American West. And again, it's a phenomenal idea. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Ron Hill did a super job with the interior illustrations. And again, that whole concept to me of a Western figure riding a mastodon, I threw that to Robin. Heck of a cover. People would be scratching their heads trying to figure out what the heck is this all about, right?
Yeah, because he's carrying a Winchester. I've got him carrying a Winchester, and he's riding on the back of his woolly mammoth. And you go, WTF? What is this all about? So very interesting concept.
So here we go. I want to bring this up. So those of our loyal listeners paying attention to this, all right? Number one, you should really pick up Tenderfoot, okay? American Mammoth Volume 1, all right? It's just a great read. But it sets up that world, all right? So now, as what Michael does, he sends me several novels. Never sends me one, he sends me several. And there's Rob's pencils for the cover. Oh, I love that cover. Right there, Rob. That's awesome. Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. So Rob, a couple of weeks ago, I finished reading and editing the second book in the American Mammoth series. All right. And here I am expecting to read where he left off. Okay, like the opening of the West and our lead characters coming out there and whatever, right? Forget it. He jumps into the 20th century. It's that same world, only now it's like 1970, 75 in Montana.
Jumps 100 years.
Right?
Wow.
Right? With a U.S. Marshal, all right, in Montana, who, through a series of events, finds out that this psycho killer has has stolen off of National Reservation land 2 saber-tooth tigers. And has taken them back to New York to sell to a mafia boss who wants to have saber-tooth tigers as pets. Look out. Here we go again.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
It's one of the best books I've read so far this year. This one, Rob, I mean, literally, I would just urge you to read this new one. The characters are so well developed. That whole sense of how he transfers what he had set up in the original to work in the modern times, right? Like, and to New York, back to Montana, The characters are phenomenal. His Marshal is one of the greatest characters I've seen developed in fiction. Michael is a genius, and he's a real treasure to us in New Paltz. There you go. All right. So now, what was, again, a happy, time for me and Rob. Anytime Nancy does this, we had a new Jezebel Johnson, this time volume 10 of her Jezebel Queen of the Pirates series. This one was called No Quarter, and it continues that saga that she's been writing for several years now. Rob provides all the interior illustrations, and we got Michael Youngblood back on the color cover. And hey, Nancy shows no signs of letting up.
Yeah, she's still working on the sequel to this one. Yeah, I guess that volume 11.
Right. She
kind of did most of them, 1 through 9. The title of the book was actually the name of the ship.
Right.
That's not the case here. No Quarter is not the name of a ship in this. It's the don't give up. Never surrender. Don't give up. No quarter, and give no quarter. In other words, give the enemy is better than he's giving you. So yeah, so it's a little different, but it's just another chapter in this ongoing saga with a female pirate, a fascinating female pirate from the pirate era of muskets and flintlock pistols. And sabers. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean,
swashbuckling.
Right. She's got a fall. There's no offense or buts about that. All right. Every time we do our royalty, accounting from Amazon for the books, they continuously sell. All right.
Yeah.
And I would like to believe, I see it myself. People start reading the series and they get addicted to it. You just, you after you've read 1, 2, or 3, you want to know what's going to happen. I mean, the first book in this series, Jezebel was like 14 years old, disguised herself as a boy and snuck aboard a pirate ship. Right. And then the saga continues. Well, by books 10 and now 11, what we're talking about being written, she's got her own ship. She's grown up, become an adult. She's been in more, bloodthirsty fights, ships to ship. She's outlived so many different threats to her life and, well-being. She's had, she's made allies. She's made enemies. Okay. I mean, on the Spanish Main, if you will. And Nancy's research is so meticulous.
Yeah.
All right.
You feel like you're in that era. You're living it right with them.
Right. She simply doesn't throw things at you that aren't researched, authentic to the story she's telling, which only adds so much drama and flavor to, the enjoyment of the series. So yeah, Rob and I are all on board. So is Airship27. As long as she wants to keep writing Jezebel Johnson, we're going to keep bringing it to you, right? I mean, Rob, I would love nothing better than some producers out in Hollywood to find this series.
Yeah, find some young black woman to play the part. Oh man, this would make a great series of movies.
Right.
So yeah, definitely.
I mean, do it as a series, season 1, season 2. I mean, get an actor.
Do it as a series on like Netflix or Amazon Prime, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Right. There's
Apple
so much
TV.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so much material. You can have 4 or 5 seasons with no problems at all telling her story. All right. I mean, I'm trying to remember what was it like? Maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was Netflix that had a pirate series, and I can't. Valerie and I watched it. We absolutely loved it, and I forget what the title of it was. I know Nancy was a fan of it herself. It was absolutely phenomenal, and I think it lasted at least 3 or 4 seasons. And it was what they had done, which I didn't realize till almost the end of the first season, the start of the second season. The people who created it literally wrote a prequel to Treasure Island. All right. So by the end of the second season, you meet Long John Silver, but he hasn't even lost his leg yet.
Wow.
Right? And you follow. It was phenomenal. It got so many accolades. I'm trying to think. It was something sales or whatever, right? And
if you think of it, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen.
Right. Oh man. Yeah. All right. So there you go. That's 1, 2,
That's-
3, 4, 5, 6 new titles since our last show.
And many of them within just a week or two of each other. So they all just kind of popped up at once. Rob was scrambling to keep up there for a few weeks because I'd finish one and then there'd be another one with all the pieces. So I'm like, well, let's put it out there. This is the year where we just clean the slate. Let's push this stuff out there. Fans are looking for it anyway. Another one we have. I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, but every time you announce a new book on I forget whether it's the Airship 27 page or the Pulp Factory page, one commenter always comes up with Beyond 175?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Harding McFadden. Yes.
His book, yes, but it's not him making the
Well,
comment. It's
somebody
somebody
wants
else
to read it.
who wants to read that so bad.
Yeah.
But please, we have the pile is really high of stuff for us to get to. Be patient. We'll get to it. I want to do it. It's a great story, but we've got a pile of stuff for me to get through, and I'm the illustrator of it, and there's at least 2 or 3 books in line before it, unfortunately.
Right.
But, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Right. We're going to talk about what's coming next in a second. But I wanted people to understand, and this was a joke that Rob and I got a big chuckle out of. When we got to the end of last year, we had announced almost at the beginning of the year of 2025 what we were going to be doing.
Right.
And maybe that wasn't such a bright idea, but anyways, come December 2025, and Michael Pleneur sends me like 4 novels. Teal Jane Glenn sends me another 2 or 3. Everybody's sending me books trying to get under the deadline. All right.
Yeah,
never mind, we had
the level is starting to go up of the water.
They added all this other stuff to it, and hey, you have to play fair. All right, we had given them all to the end of the year. Okay, and we did. So all those that came in under the wire, I have in my files. We will ultimately get to them. All right. The kicker is, most likely, this is going to take a couple of years, as Rob just alluded to. Because, both of us have other things that we do. We have other projects that we're involved with, et cetera, et cetera.
That's the whole point of us cutting back, is that we have other things that we want to do and want to get to. So, yeah, that's the whole point of all this. But at the same time, we want to be fair to our fans and for the guys that were created for us all these years. If you've got stuff that you want us to put out for you, and also when we announced this, everybody thought, oh, they're going out of business. No, we're just cutting back. We're still here. We're still doing books. But we want this to be a more balanced, because there are other things we want to do. We want to balance it with the other things. But for this next couple of years, it's going to be we're going to try and get these out as quickly as we can.
Bring up the inventory. Once the inventory is cleaned up, it's going to get there, okay? Then Rob and I will sit down and decide, okay, it's time to open the doors again, but in a much more regimentated fashion of what we want, all right? Not just helter-skelter and throw anything at us, all right? Because that's just not going to work anymore. Again, one of the books we're about to talk about is we're maybe a few weeks away from releasing our latest Sinbad and New Voyages title. All right. Well, this thing basically is 2 novellas. All right. Each of 30,000 words, filling a novel. All right. The kicker is, in seeing Rob put that together, getting Gary Carter's illustrations, we've got Michael Youngblood now working on the cover, right? Now I'm looking at that and saying, well, we've had so much fun with that series and that cast that we invented for this series, the international crew for Sinbad and the Blue Nymph. The truth of the matter is, though, anthologies just take way too long to assemble and work. Oh, there's Gary's original artwork for the illustration. Oh yeah,
just a little sampling here of what Gary. Is that one upside
I
down?
love the one on the camel. I just love the one on the camel. That's just so well done. Look at that.
Yeah. And then,
So anyway, the idea is
I'm just giving you a little taste.
So most likely when Sinbad: The New Voyage Volume 9 comes out, it could conceivably be our last Sinbad novel. On the other hand, when we get to that point where we open the doors again, for somebody to send me a full-length novel, yeah, I could sit back and give that some serious thought.
Yeah.
Again,
instead of an anthology,
yeah, it's just that shift away to maybe more novels, less anthologies, things that Rob and I can do on a timely basis, not have our creators waiting a year, 2, 3 years to see their work come out. All right. And again, that's what I'm saying. We're going to be judicious about this. We'll open the gates. We'll have some come in, and then I'll put the stop sign up again and say, okay, we're done. This is what we've accepted in the last, 2 or 3 months. We got to get these out now.
That's for the year. Or whatever time period we decide.
Building up to the point where, hey, look, folks, per my little joke at the start of the episode, all right, how much longer I'm going to be sitting behind this desk, I don't know. All right.
Same here.
Right. Neither one of us want to leave the other in the lurch. Okay. We want to have things on a timely basis where both of us can control it, be fine. And then when eventually the day comes when we have to say, okay, this is the end of Airship 27, it's not a tragedy for anyone. All right. It's just a natural course of things. That's what we'd like it to be. Well, there you go. All right.
Now, let's tell them what's coming.
All right. So, hey, look, what's coming? Lots of really good pulp reading coming your way, loyal airmen. The Streets of Golgotha. Now, this is the last anthology put together by the late Jamie Ramos. It's a shared world he created with writers Teal James Glenn, Nancy Hansen, Lee Houston Jr., Bobby Nash, and Wayne Carey. I mean, talk about a talented group of writers, okay? But yeah, so it's unique. It's really fascinating. Jamie put the concept together, had each of them create a character that operates in this city, Golgotha, all right? Mm-hmm. And then they pulled off something which, Jamie, nothing daunted this guy, all right? I mean, round robins are so hard to put together, all right? But he decided that they'd each have an individual story and then end the collection with a round robin, i.e. everybody would write the same story. Somebody would write at the beginning, the middle, and they'd co-write a novella to wrap up and they did it. They pulled it off. It's
very, very readable. Very readable.
Oh, yeah.
It's not and there's not because I've read this one because I illustrated it, and there's not this jarring style change from each chapter either. It's almost seamless. I mean, you can, once you get into the story, you go, okay, yeah, I can tell this is the writer that, and part of it is too that each writer has his own character that he's created for this, he or she, and of course their chapter is centered on their character, but they also bring in the other characters that were in this. So it's it's a good wrap up to this series of stories. It kind of ties everything together. It's a very well written round robin. So because usually those are a nightmare.
They rarely ever get finished. That's how hard they are to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, Rob's now doing the illustrations for this book. All right. I read it months and months ago.
I got two of them in, and I don't know if you didn't acknowledge, but I did send you two of them last night. I don't know if you got them yet or not.
I saw the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
You sent me
they should just scroll down because the second one's right underneath the first one.
What I didn't do. Send me the second one again, please.
Okay.
Anyways,
just to be sure.
Here's the kicker. We've already got a cover. All right, from Adam Shaw. I wanted something special.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Adam's the guy. Okay. Hopefully, once this comes out, the proceeds from it, and we've talked to all the writers involved with the project itself. All profits from this particular book will go to Jamie's wife and son. Okay, everybody agreed. no problems at all. All right. Jamie was a good soul. He was an amazing human being who Rob and I grew real fond of over the years.
We have lost too many, since we've started doing this.
His life is never
good people, very good people.
But he never gave up hope. He was a fighter all the way to the end, and just an example for all of us. And so it really is an honor for us to be able to put this out in his honor, his memory, and I'm anxious for it to be released. You will see that all over social media when we do. All right.
It's off to the I'm doing the illustrations. Once I get those done, we'll send it off to the proofreader. There's, what is it, 15 or 16? I forget how many, 15 or 16 illustrations in this, because it's got more chapters than most anthologies do.
Yeah.
So it's got more illustrations for me to do. There's 2 per each story, and I believe there's 7, 8 stories, including the round robin. So it's going to take me a little while to get it done, but it's at least I finished reading the darn thing and doing the thumbnails, and now I'm actually working on the illustrations. But anyway, we need to move on to the next one. Go ahead.
All right. So then we have what I just mentioned, Sinbad, The New Voyages, Volume 9. And the 2 novellas that will be featured in this are one by Richard C. White and the other one by Fred Adams Jr. And both are classic, like Ray Harryhausen adventure stories. And a lot of fun. Okay, so again, a great series. Then Beyond 175, all right, which is on our radar. Okay, so hang in there. Man. All right, the sequel to the Edgar Rice Burroughs Beyond 30, which we put out last year. The sequel was written by Harding McFadden, the guy who came to us with this idea well over 2 years ago and said, hey, this is public domain. It's one of the few Burroughs books that is, and I've written a sequel to it. And that's what intrigued Rob and I, and said, hey, let's go for it. So we did 130. You can get it online. There's multiple different editions of it. Other people have done it. Mm-hmm. But honestly, after reading Harding's sequel, it's amazing to me how he caught the essence, the style, and the feel of Burroughs. Yeah. Because when you read Beyond 175, it seems like a natural progression from where Burroughs would have went with Beyond, 30. So that's in your future. Also, not so heavy-handed. We've got more Barry Baskerville, Boy Detective. That series, that children's book series by Richard Kellogg about the kid who wants to be Sherlock Holmes and his friends, illustrated brilliantly by Gary Cotto. And this is volume 10 of that series.
10, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, again, trying not to get overly morbid, but Richard recently had some bad health news. He's an elderly gentleman, and he's handling it with a lot of class. Well, really extremely well. And so upon hearing that, we pulled up the stops to get this off to Gary. Rob designed the layouts for the books. Gary will read it, do his illustrations, and pull color, get them back to Rob. And hopefully we'll have that out within a month, another month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, it depends on how long it takes Gary, because and going through the book and okay, where should this part of the story cut off, and it's involved. And then now Gary's got to figure out, what do I illustrate on each one of these pages as I've broken them down. So it'll probably be a little bit of a struggle, but it always is. But once you get going, it starts to fall into place. I find that with every art thing I do. It's tough to get started, but once the ball is rolling down the hill, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the darn thing. It's going so fast. But yeah, that's one I'd like to see us get out fairly quickly, so he can see it. So that Richard can see it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's good. Richard came up with this idea for his granddaughter. All right, he's a devoted Sherlock Holmes fan, and he has this idea of doing this, this kid's story thing. And Barry Baskerville is such a charming character.
It's fun. It's fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. So those are just a few of the things that we have in the works. Obviously, there's a whole lot more. I'm looking at the files and hoping that we can start looking at maybe getting a Sherlock Holmes consulting detective 22 eventually in the works before the end of the year.
22 or 21? 21.
We did 21. We did 20. We did 20, which had your cover was the Strand homage. Then we did 21 with Dr. Wise's cover.
Well, that's the Paralipomena. That's the Paralipomena of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay,
that's not a consulting detective. Okay.
I stand corrected.
Stand corrected. Yes. Yeah. So
corrected.
21's the next one.
Okay.
And we just did the quarterly books, and as always, that book jumped to the top of the list as to what sold the most and made the most money for Airship 27 and the creators involved. So yeah, Sherlock Holmes just keeps right on sailing along and selling books. Just amazing. Just crazy.
I have to tell you, I have to share this with you because this came out last year on the WB streaming station, right? And I'd heard about it, but never gave it a second thought. And so recently, Valerie and I were watching television one night, and I said, "You think we can get WB?" And she goes, "Well, it's an app." She said, "We can load the app, TV." I said, "Well, let's do it." I said, "There's something I'm looking for." She goes, "What?" I said, "Well, last year they did a new Sherlock Holmes whereby he has a daughter."
Yes.
Right? Okay. So we download the app, we go look, and we found it. The entire first season. So over the next week and a half, we watched it. David Toulis plays Holmes. He does a great job with it. There's some, odds and ends, a little different stuff or whatever, right? Obviously. All right. The fact that his daughter is American, this whole fabrication, how she gets to London. And when he finds out, she's telling him, "I'm your daughter," that kind of stuff, right? But overall, the story is complex enough to be a good Sherlock Holmes mystery. And ultimately, by halfway through the series, the two of them are working together because they make her sharp. They make her witty and smart like he is, all right? And she's learning from him, et cetera. It's the back and forth. And I don't know who the young lady is playing her, but she did a great job. And the chemistry between her and Toulis is marvelous. So that when we got to the end of it, Valerie and I were charmed by it. I haven't heard anything about a possible second series, but I really do hope they give it a shot because it was fun. And there's never enough Holmes as far as I'm concerned.
Obviously.
Right.
So,
all right. So now that we wrapped up our agenda, it's time for bad joke number 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Take it away, Rob.
You sure we don't have anything else to talk about?
I'd like to spare our loyal airmen, but no, back against the wall. What can I do?
Okay. I've actually got 2 of them, but okay, I'm gonna do the second one. Dave works hard at the office, but spends 2 nights each week bowling and plays golf every Saturday. His wife thinks he's pushing himself too hard, so for his birthday, she takes him to a local strip club. The doorman at the club greets them and says, "Hey, Dave, how you doing?" His wife is puzzled and asks if he's been to the club before. "Oh, no," says Dave. The doorman, he's in my bowling league. When they're seated, a waitress asks Dave if he'd like his usual and brings over a Budweiser. His wife is becoming increasingly uncomfortable and says, "How did she know that you drink Budweiser?" "I recognize her. She's the waitress from the golf club. I always have a Bud at the end of the first 9, honey." A stripper then comes over to the table, throws her arms around Dave, starts to rub herself all over him, and says, "Hi, Davy. Want your usual table dance, big boy?" Dave's wife, now furious, grabs her purse and storms out of the club. Dave follows and spots her getting into a cab. Before she can slam the door, he jumps in beside her. Dave tries desperately to explain that the stripper must have mistaken him for someone else, but his wife has none of it. She is screaming at him at the top of her lungs, calling him every 4-letter word in the book. The cabbie turns around and says, "Geez, Dave, you picked up a real harpy this time." Dave's funeral will be next Friday.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh. Yeah, leave it to the cab driver.
Well,
good one
after another.
Anyway,
I think Dave should have insisted on going to a different strip club. Well, who knows? He might have gone to all of them in town. Who knows?
Dave's a popular guy. That's quite obvious. All right. Anyways,
so anyway,
I'm curious, hey, anything else you want to talk about before we, call it quits?
No, I think we covered it down. I did want to throw in a bit about Beyond 175 because, and it brings up a point that some of our fans are anxious for us to get certain books out, but it takes a while for us to navigate which ones should come next, and the pile is just getting bigger and bigger. At least it did until the end of December. So, and we're wading our way through, and I'm anxious to get working on. I always love doing the Sherlock Holmes books, so I'm looking forward to doing Consulting Detective 21. But there's other books in the series in our queue that I want to get to as well. So it just, folks, be patient. It takes us a while to wade through this. And I'm kind of looking forward to the day when we can say, well, this is what we want to do, and I like these, but those are ones we're not going to be doing from now on. And hopefully there'll be some other publisher that can pick up some of these ones that we're going to not be doing. So hopefully,
considering, like I said, we were, I don't know how I would say it, but we weren't at Windy City this year, but both of us were there in spirit.
That's a good point. We should bring that up. That we will. We will be there in 27. We will be there next spring.
Right.
I've already talked to the organizer, and I haven't paid for them yet, but we have 2 tables reserved. So,
but again, my point with that being, watching the events go on, watching the fact that the Pulp Factory Awards went off without a hitch. All right. Jonathan Sweet and Brian Morris did a fantastic job. Everybody loved it. Glenn Hell flew in because he had an idea, and sure enough, he won Best Novel. So, I mean, it was a great show. It goes on. And I mean, that's what we've always aimed for anyways. All right. When we started Airship 27, there really wasn't a new pulp. All right. There is now. It's healthy. It's got multiple publishers. I mean, most recently, Robin Mendenhall and his Blue Sky. Charles Milhouse is doing so many great things. It's really fantastic. All right. And then you've got, White Rocket with Van Plexico, and I'm going to forget a whole bunch of them. All right.
Yeah.
It's just getting better and better. Every year, new publishers show up and say, hey, I can do this. And yeah, you can. Okay.
Yeah, Bold Venture Press, which does the Zorro books and does other pulp books.
Right.
There's another one. So
yeah. So again, that was always the idea. All right. That was what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that pulp fandom stayed healthy. All right. That was going to be around for another 100 years. Okay. And people would continue to enjoy this kind of wild action adventure fiction. And that's what's happening. It did me a lot of good to see that go on, even when we weren't there. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. We missed it. We missed our friends.
Big time. And next year, and this year, what happened was there's a show that I always do called Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City and Windy City. Now, normally they're a couple of weeks apart every year. Well, this year they overlapped. So I had to choose which one to do. Well, the last time this happened, this has been 10, 12 years ago that it happened before. that they overlapped, I chose Windy City. So with heavy heart, I had to say, Windy City, but you got me last time. This time, Planet Comic-Con's getting me. So gets to the end of Planet Comic-Con, and they give the date for next year's show. And Windy City gives their date for the next year's show. They overlap again.
They did it again, 2 years in a row.
We went for 12 years with no overlap. They were at least a week apart. Now, that 2 years in a row, they're right on top of each other. So next year, I'm going to have to say, sorry, Planet Comic-Con and fans, I'm going to miss you all terribly, but Windy City called, so we'll be at Windy City. And hopefully the next year, please do not overlap. I really love doing two different shows, even if they're that close together. I love doing both shows. So having to give up one of two of the two shows that I like going to is heartrending. I'm not happy about it, but it is what happened. But next year, Windy City. So we'll see you there.
We'll keep our fingers crossed that by the time we get to the 28th, they're back a week apart.
Please, yes. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Please. Okay.
All right.
So
look, here we go. We've about spent an hour,
54 minutes and some.
Great important stuff. Right? That you can't. An hour you're never getting back, no matter what you think.
Nope. Can't get it back from us. So anyway.
Thanks for watching. I'll let Rob start signing us off.
This is Chief Engineer Rob Davis signing off.
And Captain Ron says, downshift.